Great, this is my first kind of vlog style episode. I'm in Epsom this morning, which is in Surrey, which is in southeast England. I have been here before. Well, I definitely have been here before. It's not a place I know very well, but it is the very town where I was born. So I entered the world in this place.
Wyatt.
So today's plan is got a meeting first thing in central London, and then I've just got to find somewhere to work this afternoon, and then in the evening it's kind of up for grabs. I haven't really got any plans, so we'll see what happens. So as this is my first kind of vlog style video, probably wondering, you know, what's this chap doing in a hammock, and you know, why is he in the forest? And there's two very good questions, and so to answer that we're gonna have to go back a couple of years. So back in 2014 I lived and worked in Bristol, which is in the UK. I worked for a small production company making animations, and I lived with two of my really good friends. The house we lived in actually belonged to one of those friends, and later that year he got married, and so I had to start thinking about moving out. Now this didn't feel like a big deal at all, because in the 8 years since leaving home, I'd actually lived in 6 different places. So moving again just wasn't a problem. And actually, I was excited about the opportunity to do something new and different.
It can be a problem. It can be a problem. It can be a problem.
So yeah, I remember at the time there were loads of other factors in play and lots else going on, which kind of all contributed. I guess I might cover the details of all that in another video, who knows. But yeah, I just remember kind of being up for a change, being up for a challenge, being up for a bit of an adventure. I think this is the right way. Alright. This is my car. Just quickly need to get changed. So, back to the story. So my housemate Tom and I, at the time, were kind of binge watching. Oh my goodness. We were binge watching loads of Ray Mears, and we watched this one episode where he was out in the jungle and he was wild camping using a hammock. And I remember just thinking, like, that's genius. I'm gonna park here.
It can be quiet.
And I think that's kind of when I actually had the idea. What if I was to wild camp every night in a hammock in the forest? I started writing down this list of questions like what and where would I eat, how would I wash, and what would I do with all my stuff. And I remember saying to myself that if I could answer all those questions, then I'd go for it, why not?
It can be a problem.
So with all the questions answered in my head, there's kind of just one last thing stopping me, I think, in my mind. And that was, honestly, I was just terrified of what people would think. I was terrified of sort of announcing this grand plan and then 2 or 3 days in, just kind of giving up, realising that, you know, actually I didn't want to live outdoors, and then just feeling a bit embarrassed. I was just scared of being embarrassed, basically. That was actually a really huge barrier for me. So the slightly cheeky way that I kind of got around this issue was I started to think about, like, what's the most socially acceptable way of doing something crazy. So my idea was to raise money for a charity. I'd be homeless for a month, just a month to begin with, to raise money for a charity that helps homeless people. So I announced the campaign and started preparing. And on the 1st of May 2014, I said goodbye to my housemates, I handed them back my keys, and I headed for the woods to be voluntarily homeless for 1 whole month. So I've got my meeting now in this building, I think. And hopefully it will go well. Meeting went really well. Time to get some lunch, I'm really hungry. Okay, so to carry on with my story, before I knew it, the month-long charity campaign was over, but I was nowhere near ready to stop. So by day I had my regular job, where I would go and sit at my desk and make animations. But every evening would be an adventure. I'd head out into the forest and sleep between 2 trees in my hammock. In the morning I'd wake up, pack up, and head straight back to work. Just heading back to the station now, catch my train, and then do some work hopefully this afternoon. So after 3 months of sleeping outdoors, I handed in my notice at my job, and so I was not only homeless but also jobless. And then in August I went for a 2-month and 2,000-mile bike ride around Europe, which was absolutely amazing. By the time I got back it was October, and so I'd been wild camping for 5 months. So I thought, unless a better opportunity comes up, or unless I get way too cold and miserable, then I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing. I think it was the end of that same October that I started my own business making animations for people, which is what I do now. And actually my meeting today was a new animation job for a new client, so it's super exciting. Now I'm heading back to the woods. So here I am, 2 years later, 2 and a bit years later. I'm still sleeping outdoors. So thanks for watching. Just before I end this video properly, whatever that means, for me, the whole reason I did this is because I just love being outside and just having that daily connection. And with this kind of lifestyle, basically almost I force myself to sort of be out in nature as part of my daily routine. Cooking a meal now requires like collecting wood, building a fire, cooking my dinner. It takes way longer than it would at home, but I love the process, and I love setting up and packing down my gear. It's those kind of rhythms and that kind of routine that gives me a sense of a home. Yeah, I just love learning how to be comfortable here, and when it's really cold and when it's hammering down with rain and it feels like I shouldn't be outside. That's almost when I love it the most, because it feels like I shouldn't be able to be here and be warm and dry and comfortable, but I am, and like that just doesn't get old at all. So yeah, for me the core thing was about reconnecting with nature, and I don't know, I just feel like there are so many things about this whole experience which are really hard to kind of articulate, but I'd love to try and share those things with you on this channel. And yeah, I just love to connect with you. I'd love to, yeah, I guess just see where this goes. If this is interesting, tell me what you'd like to know, what kind of videos you'd like me to post up, and yeah, start a sort of a conversation. And that's what I think YouTube is just absolutely brilliant for. So super excited.